Welcome back to William Byrd High School, where they've got some new upgraded digs here. They'll be on display tomorrow night when Cave Spring pays a visit. Meantime, we welcome in Alyssa Ray, Eric Johnson, and the VHSL did the major reshuffle. We're back to 4 regions, which makes old guys like me happy, but there's a whole lot more going on. Eric.
That's exactly right, Apple. We got region play in return, and that'll be key when it comes to postseason. Same teams, new destinations when it comes to the districts, and we even got some new terminology to learn for this season. We are sure to see plenty of big hits and ankle-breaking moves this season, but some schools have already made leaps and bounds into new districts, and I'm here to get you caught up on all of this year's changes. So here's a breakdown. We have what is now known as 6 classes rather than groups. Each class will have 4 regions, A, B, C, and D. And from there, we have the districts that we're usually familiar with, but here's where the changes occur because we have 11 teams in new districts. It gets a little rocky, so follow me here. We're going to start up north. Mark Poston and the Rockbridge Wildcats will head back to the Valley. That's a district that they were once part of years ago. Meanwhile, Allegheny will jump to the Three Rivers district. Also coming with them will be Carroll County and James River. So the Three Rivers will be loaded with 7 teams now. Now, with Rockbridge and Allegheny in new places, that means the Blue Ridge is left with just 5 teams. Meanwhile, Eastern Montgomery will move over to the Pioneer District, and the Green Wave of Narrows will come along with them also. Down south, the Auburn Eagles will move to the Mountain Empire with both George Wythe and a Rural Retreat to make up that 17th district. And we can't forget about our independent schools. North Cross has moved from the Old Dominion Football Conference to the Virginia Independent Conference. Now, not only do we have districts realigned, but we also have some schools moving to different classes. Most notable are the Colonels of William Fleming, making their jump to Class 5. So they will face a different level of competition if the playoffs are in store for them. Meantime, the Radford Bobcats are also taking a step up to Class 2 and will have their hands full with opponents like Gretna, Giles, and James River. So hopefully you got all that because it's shaping up to be a great season on the gridiron.
All right, Eric, that I'm already gonna need a slide rule.
Oh yeah, I think the hardest thing will be getting in our head Class 1, 2, 3 instead of the Group A 1, 2, 3. It's hard. It's hard. We'll try to keep up with it as the season goes along.
All right, and Alyssa, new coaches, a little easier. We can get their names and work with them.
Yeah, we'll check with Eric on the divisions and stuff. But
right.
As far as new coaches, I think we're good on that. Met a lot of them in the preseason, so we're excited to introduce them.
Absolutely, and we want to start with Perry McClure. 5 state titles in the glory years back in the 70s and 80s under Bob Williams. 2017, though, it's basically a coaching handoff at Perry McClure. The Fightin' Blues bid farewell to Coach Mike Kraft. He took the principal position at nearby Rockbridge County High. Kraft's 6 seasons averaged 9 wins, twice the Blues advanced to the 3rd round of the playoffs. So in steps Mark Wheeler, a Perry McClure assistant who's been the head JV coach for the past 5 years under Kraft. So the Fightin' Blues, 11-2 a year ago. They've all been coached by Wheeler already. He's also the school's guidance counselor. He's a motivator, and his philosophy won't change now that he's the guy calling the shots.
Do the little things right, the big things will take care of themselves. You know, it's not always about the winning. It's about the clawing, the scratching, the fighting to win, and that's what I really try to get across to my players, you know, at any level that I've coached at. And that's just the way we do it here. I've coached all of them here. I was a JV coach for 5 years, and so I'm familiar with what they can do, and I think they're familiar and comfortable with me as a coach, and I'm just really looking forward to getting it on.
At the home of the Bulldogs, there's a new top dog in town as Nathan Tanner will take over the reins at Martinsville High School. Tanner transitions from his role as head coach at Summers County in West Virginia, where he took his team to the playoffs 3 out of 4 years. He inherits a Martinsville team that advanced to the VHSL playoffs for 3 straight seasons and finished 2016 with a record of 8-4.
Something I learned, I'm still a young coach, but something I learned with my first position was whenever you take care of small things and you really harp on doing the little things right, success takes care of itself. So I feel very fortunate because I've been telling people that the foundation is set. We're just going to put the walls and the roof on it now. We're just going to build off of what him and the other coaches have done thus far.
The Vikings won 2 state championships in a 4-year span. Now they've hired their 3rd head coach in 3 seasons. Former assistant coach Scott Fisher was hired in April, a selection that looks to bring some consistency back to the program. He worked under Coach Bert Torrance for 4 seasons.
And, you know, expectations, yeah, we'd like to win. Absolutely, we'd like to win. We're going to do what it takes to win every day. We want to get better every day. And we hope that the attention to detail, reinstalling some discipline programs that's in the program now, and just ask them to buy into that. And if they don't buy into that, they won't play.
Christiansburg saw veteran coach Tim Cromer resign after the 2016 season. It was a 1-9 campaign after a long and successful run. So in steps former Glenvar assistant coach Alex Wilkins in his first head coaching job. The Floyd County native played under the legend Winfred Beal, then played college ball at Bridgewater. It's a fresh start, not only for Wilkins, but for the Blue Demons, who are building numbers and confidence in the offseason.
For me, the biggest thing was when I came in here was just to establish that working mindset. To me, last year is in the past. Even if I was here last year, that was an old regime, old team. I mean, they've got a new, fresh start, just like me. I mean, I tell them, you know, I'm 0-0 as a head coach. I mean, I have less wins than anybody in the state of Virginia. So, you know, I've got that chip on my shoulder. I know they've got the same chip on their shoulder, just to get after it and prove people wrong. So.
Bassett High School bid farewell to longtime coach Jay Gilbert after 13 years at the helm and 29 years of coaching overall. In steps Brandon Johnson, most recently a defensive backs coach at nearby Magna Vista High during their back-to-back state title runs. He's a Bassett grad, class of '06.
So far, you know, since February when I got the job, our team motto has been all in. Who's going to sacrifice for the whole team and not just be about themselves? You know, going back, watching film on the guys that are returning, what I've noticed is, man, at times we tend to put our heads down, and nobody came by to really pick them up. But if we're all in, I've been focusing on let's pick up the man that failed. Nobody's going to stay down. This is football. We're going to play one play at a time, and let's pick each other up.
2010 was the last time the Craig County Rockets had a winning season, but this year the team is starting a new era with new head coach Mark Harrison. Harrison comes in with a wealth of experience, having been an assistant at Lord Botetourt and most recently at Auburn and Eastern Montgomery. As a new coach, priority one is getting the players to buy in.
Not coming in to bark a whole lot, not coming in, you know, the kids got to know me and I've got to know the kids. You know, we got to work together. You know, I tell them this, I say, hey, it don't work without me and it don't work without you, so we got to work this thing out together. I want these kids to believe in me, you know, what I bring to the table, and show them what, you know, what I have to offer. And hopefully if they see that, then they'll want to, you know, continue and help try to get some more of these other kids out here to play.
And David Morrison is the new coach at Patrick County High. Nearly 20 seasons after he wore the uniform, he'll lead them out on Friday night. Still to come, most high school players are thrilled to hear from a college, any college, but 28 Division I offers and counting. That makes you Southwest Virginia's most wanted. That story and more dashing your way next. We're back at newly refurbished Patterson Stadium at William Byrd High School. As you get a look at the turf, last season's Mud Bowl against Stanton River is ancient history. Folks, we have a number of athletes already committed to play college ball, but Southwest Virginia's most wanted, Alyssa, resides in Blacksburg.
Absolutely, and if you watched any of Blacksburg High School's games last season, you know the name Cole Beck, but his reputation for tormenting defenses goes beyond this corner of Virginia. He's been garnering attention all across the country. Blacksburg's state title run was fueled by just that, the run, particularly the ground game of Bruins running back Cole Beck, who rushed for more than 2,100 yards last season.
He's a playmaker. It's in this area of Virginia, or really anywhere in the state or in the country. When you have Cole Beck's speed, it just changes the game in high school. It's tough to make up for speed if you don't have it, and when you have it, you have to find ways to use it. So he's a blessing. Scoring 35 touchdowns his junior year, he was a frequent flyer in opponents' end zones. But the 6'1", 185-pounder isn't about to take all the credit.
Well, really just share with my teammates, you know, because I couldn't do it without them, especially the front guys. You know, they had a phenomenal breakout and playoffs just like I did. You know, it's because of them. So all credit to them. And we're going to keep carrying on, and we're just going to play football.
Not only did Beck torch the turf, he tore up the track. The senior is the two-time defending 3A state champion in multiple events, the 100 and 200 meter dash and the 4x100 relay. He helped lead the Bruins indoor track team to a state championship and added another accolade to his resume, finishing first in the 55-meter sprint. But topping his long list of accomplishments is placing second in the 100 in the New Balance Nationals meet.
Well, he's more than a football player, that's for sure. He does some big things up in track. He's the second fastest kid in the country, which is very good to have on the football team. So he gets a lot of talk, but very humble. You know, he's not out there to, try and show off or anything. He's doing this all for the team. That's what makes him a great teammate.
Beck posted a 4.29 40-yard dash time, and in the world of college recruits, he's now Southwest Virginia's most wanted. The speedster received numerous Division I offers, including Louisville, Virginia, North Carolina, Pittsburgh, and Virginia Tech. He plans to play football and run track at whatever school he chooses. But in the wake of making that decision, he's focused on one thing: his final year playing for Blacksburg.
Obviously, I want to go win. I want to win every game, so there's no doubt. I want to, break everything, break every record, but, the main goal is to leave a legacy and, make the team better on when I leave.
Despite the Bruins' move to 4A, this back is looking to sprint his way back to being a state contender in more sports than one.
Now we're going round the horn with teams we're keeping our eyes on. We're starting with Eric. Take it away.
All right, I'm going to go Class 2, Glenvar Highlanders, 2014 title winners. They've been contenders ever since. 5 losses in the past 3 years. I like what Coach Clifford and his team has coming back this season.
All right, to me, a threat in 3A is Brookville. They have a consistent postseason appearance run for 12 straight seasons. They captured state titles in 2011, 2012. John Meeks is entering his 4th season. He hyped up his quarterback, Tanner Bernard, saying he's one of the best QBs in the state. They got 4 starters back on each side of the ball. They're bulking in the offseason. I think will make them worthy.
All right, I've got my eyes on Coach Joe Favero's bunch, the Warriors, back-to-back state titles a couple years ago. Ousted by Stanton River last year. Love Akira Greenfield returning at quarterback. He is a beast. I think Magna Vista will have something to say in the 3A ranks. Eric.
I'm going to stay in 3 and also go with Heritage Pioneers. They haven't missed a playoff since 2009. They work with the Lynchburg Fire Department in the offseason, so needless to say, they bulked up a little bit. They get their quarterback back from an ACL tear, and you can't forget Elijah Davis. He ran for over 2,000 yards last season. They're going to be hot.
It's a coincidence. Picked another Seminole District team, 4A, Amherst County. Lancers wrapped up last season 9-3. They also returned their quarterback, Keyshawn Turner, and Cecil Phillips is in his 10th year at the helm of the Lancers, and I think 10's a lucky number. These guys are poised for a strong playoff push.
All right, and in the Class A ranks, any team with Dougie Peoples on it, I'm all in. I am all in. Maroon Tide, well, they had an off-season scare. Head coach Mark Dixon briefly resigned to look at some college jobs. He's sticking around. He's back there for another season. They are going to be trouble. Galax is a handful for any Class A team. On the way out, we're at Patterson Stadium. I want to mention Bob Patterson was a legendary principal here for 34 years. 1st and 10 coming your way tomorrow night at 11:10. Don't miss it. We'll see you then.